Что будет?
What's gonna happen?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's
Я не
always the
хотела
question,
хорошей,
right?
да.
Yeah. Well, experiences with medicines are always different for everybody. So, I really recommend having no expectation, for working with master plants. It's just come in with the idea that you're going to get more of a healing and a body cleaning first. Before anything, medicines come in and they clear out all toxic things in the systems. So removing any parasites or things or emotional blocks. Oftentimes we find a lot of people expect a certain thing when they come to ceremonies, and I always say it's a process like anything else. So we can only do so much in the beginning, and the first step is cleaning out the body. A lot of people expect to have the major visions, see amazing things. That's all there because we're capable of seeing amazing things, but the first step is to clear the self, clean out any damage that's happening, emotional, physical, past stories that might have happened to you, like some traumas in your past, things like that, all have to be removed before more of your true self can embody in yourself. So the first step is to find where our blocks are and our damage, and the subconscious first and foremost. Medicines really help us with our subconscious so we can move our physical self forward, taking down a block so we can be more comfortable in our bodies as spirit. And our understandings, we already are our highest self. You already are always complete, always full, always love. But it's really physical body damage and emotional karma that sticks to us that we have to start breaking from the core of self, from a molecular level. This is where the medicines come in. They come to unroot the nervous system. They help bring into balance different operations of yourself. And trying not to be so esoteric, but so they break the blockages so that you can feel more like yourself, your authentic self. They don't do everything for you. They teach, and then they want you to learn and grow as yourself in your daily practices and your integration process, all those things. How you live your life. Many times people take medicines and a lot of life changes happens. They happen because it's trying to line you up more with your authentic reality. So at the same time, as you're having a spiritual shift and understanding, life also has to come into some balance with the new you you're creating.
About singing, you sing during the ceremony, right?
Sure. Grandmother, the medicine itself is a big fan of music, so to change energy in circle, we have certain songs that we call ikaros that bring in certain energy into the circle and can help move energy or bring in certain ancestors into the space by calling them through sound. As many people study different things, it's been said that sound is really like the beginning of the universe, is song and sound. So it really resonates, and sound can affect your different chakra systems, so you can heal with different toning, different parts of the body. It can help aid in moving energy for people with different parts of your body through singing. So these songs are meant for healing. They bring in they create a nice energy so you feel you can let go of things that you're holding on to. Because really, we don't heal anybody, but we allow space for people to do it themselves, to let go of their need. So the sound in itself lays the foundation for that process to happen. I don't know, so that hopefully connected.
So I know there's some people usually do, and they say that I heal you, or I'm gonna make some magic for your life or something. And I know that you don't like to do that. You like to hold a space for people.
Right. See, so if a healer comes to you and says they can heal you, there's some sort of karmic contract that happens with that, and that you're also putting yourself in a situation where you're dependent on somebody that's not you. And I feel for true healing in this world, we really have to become our own healer, our own master, our own shaman, your own star. You have to empower yourself. So I think a lot of the old school healers wanted that positioning, the guru consciousness, we call it. the age of the guru is over, you know, from what I'm being told in the spiritual sense. So it's about making you guys feel like you're empowered. And that's why we like to heal from a place of laying the foundation, but we're not healing you. You're healing you. You have all the power to heal you, not us. But we have healed ourselves to a certain level where we can lay good energy out. The groundwork's of good energy that people can learn from, study. You know, the connections to the animals, the connections to the water, to the cosmos. You know, these relationships, medicine people have connections to. You know, that people learn on the shamanic path, how to have connections to different animals, different kingdoms, the ground, the trees. Everything in this world is communication, and you have to have a relationship to it. So these songs too help us. The universe is a singing universe. So we want to learn about the water. We learn water songs and we sing to Oshun. Then we get messages back and energy back from that, and visions from that. So that's kind of some of how the shamanic path works. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You're connecting to different kingdoms, and also the songs for grandmother. It's just the way of talking to her, we're communicating to her, because she came and she teach her songs, and every plant actually has song for the plant, and this is the way we are learning and we're connecting to the spirit of anything, because everything is spirit.
And you learn songs from shaman you connected with, or you perceive songs from the energies, like from the plant or from elements? So where you got the language from?
Oh, nice. Both. You know, so not only in my travels of studying with different people, including members of our own tribe that sing sacred songs, from the Shipibo tribe that I work with, a lot of influence from there, and then a lot of it just comes through the ancestor, the energy, you know, because in some sense you're connecting to them on a very deep level, and those songs come through. A lot of what I do personally is I try to let go enough of myself to let other ancestors come into me and sing through me, or share their energy to circle. That's my goal every ceremony I have, so that authentic energy can come through and share. So sometimes I remember what they sing, and sometimes I don't. You know, I'm kind of a spectator too sometimes, you know, as that channels. So it works all ways. You learn from that, you learn from YouTube, you know, everything. So you just learn on the path.
As soon as you really sing from your heart, you know, like, and make connections with guides and ancestors, they just coming through him, and sometimes he don't even remember.
And usually the language, what is the language?
Some songs are English and Spanish, but for the most part it's language that doesn't have any, you know, what we would perceive, what we can understand. Yeah, because it's language that comes with vision. It comes with visual downloads. So you want to connect to the energy that way and try to feel and see what's going on. So most of the feelings and tonings come from deep ancestor languages we don't even understand. But yet these sounds and tones activate things and they turn things on energetically, you know. So, and it's almost like the medicine takes us to a place where we remember the access codes through sounds again, into different dimensions, different states of consciousness. So these songs turn the key to the doors of these places. And I don't even understand a lot of the songs or words that come through, but I understand the visuals that come with it and what it does, the power of these different tones and sounds and languages that, you know, take hundreds of years to really understand, you know. I'm very much a student on the path. I feel like a teenager myself, you know, and it's such a big universe to learn from, you know. So many variations of things. Yeah.
I got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
And also I was talking about the ancestors. I was telling you that many people in jungle, they working with kind of like spirits which are like angry and scary and
Sure.
a little bit from down world and things, and also a lot of shamanism of Siberia doing that. And
Sure.
what I noticed that our generation, people who works with medicine, we working with different energy ways, and
Medicine people, shamans, and medicine communities all teach on different perspectives of consciousness. I never put down or say any one way is better than another, because we have to learn from everything. Some people in the jungle use certain deities from the jungle, and that promotes a certain understanding. Sometimes those can be perceived as more frightening or scary, sits where you have to face actual deities that are more dragon-like or beast-like or creature-like, and these are rites of passages, So every medicine community and family comes from a different place of teaching, Where we go to some rainbow places. We bring a lot of love, I like to think. Our community comes from a lot of love, and we really teach from that angle. And that's just our angle, I've studied with people all different angles, and some are very hard, some are easy, and we learn. But I like to think why I think I teach from this angle, why the ancestors have me teach from this angle, because I think people are good enough at putting their own shit in themselves. I think people deal with a lot of hard shit a lot of their life, and I think if we can just bring in some love and understanding, and people can learn from a loving place, is nice for a change in a very hard world that we live in. So I like to think that we have beautiful sits that people feel a sense of beauty and grace and love with us, and then when they want to learn some other things, they can. Because one thing too about me, I'm not one to say just pray with me for your whole life. I don't believe in that. I think people should study from a bunch of different angles, how everything works. But
I sit with many people, and sometimes grandmother came in like really difficult and scary and not happy, and usually in our circle she always come in a beautiful way, unless she have to kick your butt for smoking or something. Yeah, it's also a relation with ancestors and guides, so we're working with ascended masters and beautiful guides, and our circle energy, it's phoenix. Maybe you can say a bit more about that.
yeah, so our tribe is Phoenix, and that changed from being the Rainbow Dreamer before then, and it was just the energy of the Phoenix came to us in our community about 3 years ago. So our tribe changed our name to understand more of the Phoenix energy on this planet, and it's beautiful. We're learning a lot about how that is clearing different energy for people, and we're not the only Phoenix tribe, but we're connecting with other people that like energy of that, and this Phoenix energy is helping clear a lot of things right now for this earth. We're this time of this ether fire here, and it's eating away stuff very rapidly. So people are feeling a lot of big changes and things, and everything's moving fast, and then things are clearing very rapidly for whatever's coming next in consciousness. And this is why some of the Phoenix energy is here, from my understanding. It's cleaning things, it is opening doorways, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful time to be alive.
It's a lot of truth energy also.
Sure.
It's a little bit hard sometimes. Like not everyone like to see the truth, but a lot of truth and clarity comes, and a lot of shifting, and like you got to let go a lot of things into the ashes, and then you rise back in a zero, and then you wake up and who you really, for what you came for here, from releasing everything else.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
It's very
rebirth.
interesting what you say about Phoenix, because on some other system I'm participating with, it's called the Sleeping Phoenix, the era of a Sleeping Phoenix, which also will move more quickly after 2027, when the kind of change happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's already happening, but then it will be like more like a click, like carpet was putting out from the legs, and we're flat.
Good news.
On the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so it's nice to hear this. It's kind of a resonance happens
Sure.
with Phoenix.
Also, there's a lot of stories and fairy tales, which is actually the truth, and legends and things which people are perceiving right now as fairy tales, which are not truth, and actually it's the truth. And I know that you like to work with imagination, and you say that imagination, it is a spirit world.
There is no difference. The imagination is the spirit world. They're one and the same. You know, the one thing I always try to do, even as I'm getting older, and you pull away from that childlike consciousness, and from my own experiences, what I realized, and when you're a kid, you're very connected to spirit, and everything feels you feel very one and whole and free, and you play around. And then we get older, we get responsibilities, we get families, we have jobs and careers, and life becomes very kind of 9 to 5 or time. It's very time driven, and we don't feel the sense of freedom and joy. So I always like to say, that's why I always encourage people to do music and art, to spark your imagination, to go outside and dream, we'll see like a park bench. Imagine there's a dragon behind it and floats away, and then there's monkeys in the trees. And this isn't crazy. This is us exploring ourselves. And then after a while, that exploration takes off into the spirit world. There's a bridge. So you start with your imagination, you play kind of games, but eventually it'll take over. Your imagination will take over, and you can go into spirit. Just let it go with it. And this in Native American studies, we study with the talking drums, and you listen to the steady rhythms, and you try to imagine as much as possible. And somebody will start with a suggestion, like they'll start and be like, okay, imagine a temple. What does your temple look like? And you go into a trance. Okay, you're walking around your temple. What's outside your temple? What's there? A garden, doom. And then you go, what's in the sky? What's there? And then, bird flies down. Then you pass the bridge in the spirit. And then you ask the animal to take you on an adventure, and then you follow it, and it'll show you things. And that's how easy it is to connect in shamanic spirit. Really, no medicine is needed. But medicine also helps that process. We do the same thing with medicine as also a tool, and that goes from there. So imagination is the spirit world. We forget that all the time, and that's because we become adults, and we become responsible, and we become rigid, and we become that. But then there's a balance that we have to all achieve in our consciousness, that we can handle our responsibilities and also be childlike. But then I feel that also means that we have to go more into tribalism, where having space, like prayer space and community space, where people can truly let go. We're all holding on so much to things.
And shine for each other, and help each other to shine, and mirror each other in a beautiful way, in an amazing way. Because we so much we hear about that fantasy, just a fantasy, all these beautiful movies like Avatar, which is complete truth. It's just a fantasy movie, and that movie was created because someone traveled to jungle and actually connect to the avatar, to the truth of who we are really. And the system wants us to think that it just that is your imagination. What? That's
They call you crazy for using your imagination, right? If you have an imagination, they call you crazy, put you on pills, that you're stuck on pharmaceuticals, and we I don't know, when we all manifested the reality. And so what I like to say is we all have to take responsibility, whether we like about society and culture, and also what we don't, but we all co-created our reality. And when we take responsibility for that, we don't have to be mad at anything. There's nothing to be mad at. It's us too. We are everything. So, but instead, I decided that's really a world that's boring for me. It's not for me. I don't connect with it, and that's when I was a teenager, and I had to then find out about shamanism and native culture, and that was part of my blood and who I am. And then when that started and sparked my imagination, I was like, yes, this is more the world that I remember. I grew up in New York City, very like Moscow, very strong city, strong energy, strong lessons. And it was hard to connect to nature and the natural world. But once I got it, it freed me in a certain way. from the Matrix, you know, the Matrix. So.
And you're not coming back there.
No, you know, once once we
in a
wake
while.
up, no, we wake up, and this is what the medicine really helps you with, is the waking up process. It might not do it right off the top, but if you work with yourself enough and stuff, you know, we wake up like the Matrix, you know, and then you can't really go back, you know. Yeah.
Also, what I really like you to teach people, and I adore that when you really helping people to see that they are their own master, and actually that we have a lot of masters right now on this earth, in this time of shifting into other new vibration,
Yeah, definitely.
and that it's the time of new earth. So right now we have the most powerful beings in our generation and next generations who
Sure.
gonna build a new world, and this is hard. But also it's very important to be mindful about who's holding the space for you and how person do that. And if person really care for you to be your own star and your own beauty and your own power, if person really works with light and love, because it depends, you know, you can find the love there, but you can also fuck up yourself quite in a way if person is not able to really bring you back or to hold the space which is going to be safe. And it's going to be all your choice, you know, you choose and your karma and everything, but just, you know, if you're here, I believe you have a good karma. Seriously.
There's a lot of people trying to do this that shouldn't be.
Tell me, what is it?
Paloma.
Tell me about Paloma.
Paloma, the community of the future. Beautiful.